What is up, people? Welcome to the live stream. How are we doing? I hope you are all well. What is good? You already know what day it is, ladies and gentlemen. It's Thursday, aka Not a Therapist Day. You guys submit your dilemmas and pressing concerns using exclamation point NAT in the chat. I'll take a look at them and I'll try and give you my best advice I can. Now, as per usual, my lawyer has asked me to read a disclaimer before we get into anything. So let me just go over this real quick. This is strictly not therapy, and no advice given should be considered in any serious capacity. I hold no liability for any harm or psychological damage which may incur as a result of following any recommendations given. Thank you very much. Welcome to the stream, everyone. I hope you're all well. Now, before we get into it, I do want to mention I seem to have developed something of a cough. My throat has been pretty sore. It might be, you know, just the changing season. But yeah, I seem to be getting a little sick. So I'm going to be drinking a lot of water, and you might... Oh, crap. I dropped this water bottle where it should not have been freaking dropped. Yeah, you're gonna probably be seeing me coughing a little bit, but just keep in mind I'm a little bit sick. Kevin's saying, oh my god, Simi, we having the same thing. Are you feeling ill as well? Anybody else in the chat feeling ill? Let me know what's going on. Frenzy saying, playing The Last of Us remake right now. Enjoy. Honestly, I saw Sam, Mr. Blisstech from the Cyber Nerds playing that, and it really made me want to try it. I'm not gonna lie. So yeah, enjoy that. My dilemma is that the Breaking Bad does not have a rated PG-13 spin-off. Kevin saying, I have a sore throat and cold, but that didn't stop me from going to see Nope with my friend in an empty theater. Good that you mentioned that. For the second time, still bangs. Nice, man. Hell yeah, let's freaking go. Sachi, you've been coughing a lot too. Thanks for redeeming that hydrate. I appreciate it. I had a cold some days ago, and they are just a mess indeed. Indeed, yeah. Pigeons Wool, you've been sick for like 2 weeks straight. Damn, feels bad, man. COVID test be negative though. Sweet. Yeah, I haven't had. I might have to do a COVID test eventually. We'll see how long this thing actually lasts, but it would be good for me to do that just to make sure I'm not contagious and that. Well, it only tests if you have COVID, really. Not. I mean, if you have a cold, then you're still contagious, I guess. But anyway. I see that Foxy submitted the Semido. Why is this 1 minute and 30 seconds long? I've already figured out what it is, but I have to scrub through so I can see what other nonsense has been put in this, because I don't see why it's this long. Oh, you've just extended the answer period a whole like minute. All right, fair. My dilemma is that I am literally imploding as we speak. The yellow egg. Nothing can be done to help you. Nothing can be done. I was so good in Nope. Thank you. I do try. You said it wasn't long enough, so you made it long as hell. Thank you. I feel like this is good therapy. And you've sent me a TikTok video. So I guess, yeah. We'll check this out. Here's what we'll do. We'll look at this TikTok. We'll take a look at the Semido for today, and then we're gonna get into Not a Therapist, people. First off, let's see what I've been sent here. Pause the music, share the screen. Oh, nope, not Elgato. Monitor. Move my face cam down here. Show that chat. Is my music button not working? Okay, it is working. Good.
All right, today we're going to talk about how we can find out and how much we can find out and what it takes to get there. So first we have to decide how much do we want to find out. So
find out what? Okay, let them continue.
In this case, I want to find out at a level of 7. Okay, so I find that level on my graph and I come horizontally.
Is the horizontal axis like F around and find out? Is that what the joke is? F around and find out?
To my gradient line. Where it intersects with my gradient line, I'm going to come straight down to where it intersects with my fuck around line.
Okay, yeah.
Now there's going to tell me how much I have to fuck around to find out what I need to find out. See, as you can see, the more you fuck around, the more you're going to find out.
Yeah.
And also, if you stay down here and you never fuck around, you'll never find out. So I hope this lesson is helpful. Thank you.
I like that. Direct relationship, yeah. Such wisdom. Basically, stay in your lane. Don't get what you can't. Don't give what you can't handle getting. All right. He looks older than me, only slightly. I know, only slightly. I F around, but never find things out though. You're probably not effing around. You think you are, but you're not really. All right, people, take a look at today's Semido. With the intro. Oh wait, no, I don't want this in full screen. Hold on. With the intro, I feel like this is a very recognizable thumbnail, honestly. So I'm gonna see how many people get it. You need to be specific. You need to be specific with your answer. Do the framed, and then I'm going to bed. I got everything first try. Movie door, framed, poster door. You got it first try? Maybe I'll do the framed, yeah. Madeline saying, Tamago. More specific than that. Neopets abusing Buller Boy saying abusing my pet in Neopets. Buller Boy, you got it correct. You got it exactly correct. This is the Neopets experience. I believe episode 4. And this says call Peter. It's the episode called Abusing My Pet. The Neopets experience. Good job, Buller Boy. Good job. You got it correct. Nice one. I think that's episode 4. Let me double check. The Neopets experience 4. It is indeed episode 4. Damn, I can't believe I made 10 episodes of Neopets experience. I'm actually proud of myself, man. All right. Yeah, okay, we can do the framed real quick. All right. Based on the color scheme I'm seeing, I feel like this could be Dunkirk. All right. You know what? We'll do the guess the game as well, since we usually do that. Just based on the color scheme, I was like, that's Dunkirk, man. Is this Overcooked? I don't know which one it would be, but one of them. Oh, I'm on a roll today. I'm on a freaking roll today. What can I say? What can I say? And this is the roll that's going to be used to give you guys okay advice in Not a Therapist. I can't say it's going to be excellent, but I will try my best. Okay? I will try my best. NAT in the chat. People exclamation point NAT. Submit your queries and dilemmas. I think it's the one with the penguins in the club. Is that your guess for the what's it called? What's it called? Was that your guess for the Semido? Interesting. Not the same, bro. It took me 5 tries. It was just off the color scheme for me, and the fact that it looked like a period piece based on what I was seeing. I was like, that's Dunkirk. I know what the poster doll is as well, actually. This is quite simple. Fight Club. Very, very easy ones. Well, actually, that first one wasn't necessarily easy. This is a very easy one. You also said you got Movie Doll the first try. Can I do that? Can I get Movie Doll the first try? I don't know what movie that was. I don't know what movie that was. Full Metal Jacket? I don't know what that was. I have no clue. I have no clue what movie that is. What's that other like Vietnam movie? Can't remember the name, but it didn't look like that though. It didn't look like that. It looks like a Vietnam War movie. So which ones do I actually know? I know Full Metal Jacket. I know the one with Martin Sheen, but I can't remember what it's called. Apocalypse Now, but I don't think it is Apocalypse Now, if I'm being honest. Yeah, it's not Apocalypse Now. This has ruined my streak. I should have quit while I was ahead. I don't know, is this Rambo? Like, I literally don't recognize anything about this film. Show me another thing. Nope, nothing. One more. Am I on my last guess now? What did it say at the start there? It had that font. It looked like the Pulp Fiction font, honestly. But I don't know what it said. Did it say like ALE Alec something? Or was that Alec Baldwin? Was that his name? Yeah. This is my last attempt. Last one. Did that say Jack? Are these just names I'm seeing? Jack? Nah. What's that one that had oh, what's his name? The guy in Who Flew Over the, or the one who flew over the cuckoo's nest. There's a film where he plays an army general and he's like, you can't handle the truth. I don't know what movie that is, but maybe that's the movie. Anyway, tell me what the answer is. The Bridge on the River Kwai. Never freaking heard of that. I've never heard of that movie. There's no chance of me ever getting that. What? The Bridge on the River Kwai. Alright, sure. That movie bangs. Very famous movie. Clearly not that famous. Evidently. If I don't know it, it can't be famous. I'm sorry. It just can't be. It can't be. Oh, this movie came out in 1957. So it's one of those classics then. Okay. Fair. Retro, we are all good. Hope you're well too. Pick up the pace. Nah, we're getting into not a therapist. I want to give you guys as much time for your dilemmas as possible. The first one is loaded up right now, and it's quite a light one to ease us in. I have gone through and only chosen the ones that are actually like worth responding to, because I had to sift through the garbage and I didn't want to do it during the stream. So I've already sifted through the ones worth a response. Some responses will be longer than others, but all responses will be sincere for the most part, I guess. Kevin, you have a nice night, man. We'll catch you tomorrow, bro. All right. Boom. First dilemma. Very simple. Should I try my best at college? If you've been in my live streams for a while, I didn't mess up my screen, did I? No, I didn't. I'm good. If you've been in my streams for a while, you know that I'm an advocate of trying your best in education, working hard whenever you can. I would absolutely recommend you try your best at college. I mean, and trying your best doesn't mean one thing. You know, for some people, trying their best means, you know, absolutely getting the top grades. For other people, trying their best just means improving upon what they've done in the past. Trying your best is all about you, right? It's about your ability and trying to push yourself to the maximum peak you're able to reach at that stage in your life, right? So yeah, I think when it comes to anything that you're doing, you should try your best with it, you know? I feel like if you have an approach to life which is just about half-assing things, you can coast, you can get through life like that, and that's fine. But for me personally, I would always think, oh, what if I actually like tried a bit harder than that? I wonder how it could have been, you know? And hey, sometimes you work really hard at something and it doesn't really pay off and it feels like it wasn't worth it. But having the capacity to choose to work hard at something is a skill within itself that makes it worth it to me. So yeah, I do think you should try your best at college. Any thoughts on that from the chat? I also agree that education is definitely important. Of course, that doesn't mean you should go for college, but only if you want to. Right. Yeah, it is your personal choice. I'm not that good at giving advice, so goodbye, bruh. Definitely not getting to mine if you're still on the 22nd of September. I mean, it's just last week. There'll probably be more recent ones. You should try your best, but try not to overdo it. Oh yeah, absolutely don't you know, burn yourself out or don't use yourself, you know, to the point where you're not even taking care of yourself anymore. Trying your best also means putting yourself in situations to be at your best. So you have to make sure you're getting enough sleep, you're feeding yourself, you're doing any kind of exercise you need to do to keep your brain healthy, right? That is all encompassed in trying your best. So yeah, no, I that is a good point to keep in mind. The result isn't what's important, the journey is. What's that quote again? It's not about the destination, it's about the journey. Yeah, I think a lot of times when it comes to putting effort into something, people can get discouraged because the end result they're striving for seems so far away, it seems unreachable, or they question whether the end result is worth it. And so when it comes to things like that, I feel like you should always, or ideally, you would find yourself in a situation where the effort you put forth is a part of the reward that you seek, you know? You should try and do things where it's not necessarily for the thing you get at the end, it's for the sake of doing the thing itself that you like it. Because there are always going to be points, no matter what you strive for in life, where you're going to feel like, this isn't worth it, I'm tired, I don't want to do this anymore. But if the striving is a process you enjoy, and that can look different for whatever it is you're trying to do, then that can itself be a reason to keep going on. So my thoughts on that. A journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. It is true. It is true. That just reminds me of this person who was on The Apprentice quite a few years ago, who would always say that quote. He would always say, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Like, he would always say that to the point where it was a cliche for him. I mean, it's already a cliche in itself, but for him specifically. So, yeah. Sachin, thank you for the kind message. I do appreciate that. Thank you. If you don't try hard in school, then it might come back to bite you. Potentially, you know, and not doing well in school doesn't automatically have to be this kind of, you know, you're doomed. But the effort you put forth at school is actually just a good place to practice putting effort into things. It's a good place to practice. Sorry, I was just noticing I had some frame drops, but they seem to be okay now. It's a good place to practice trying hard. And so if you have your approach to it like that as well, that can help you further on, because it's not necessarily about the grades you get unless you're trying to get into a specific institution which requires certain grades. It's more so about the ability to apply yourself to things. Formal education that we're used to, at least, you know, that I'm used to in the UK, is quite narrow in what it sets people up for, but you can still use it to practice skills such as, you know, socializing with people, staying focused on a goal, collaboration, all sorts of things. So yeah, try your best at college. Try your best, whatever you're doing, and be kind to yourself is what I'd say. Having great teachers certainly helps. Absolutely, teachers can make or break your educational experience. So that, absolutely agree with that. Lost the ability to apply myself in 11th and 12th grade. I would not do my homework because I was like, I already know this. Turns out that was a bad idea. Right. I mean, with homework specifically, I always see that as an opportunity to consolidate, or at least I would always see it as an opportunity to consolidate my learning. You know, I think at one point I read this thing where doing homework basically adds a whole extra year of education onto your, like, education, basically. And so it's like, damn, like imagine how much progress you can make if you just do your homework and stuff. So yeah. But yeah, it's a shame to hear that, but you can always get it back. Did you ever start choosing unis, or did you know you were gonna do YouTube before A levels? Oh, I did. I had my university place. I had it. I secured it. I got in, and then I withdrew it, which I actually talk about in detail in my membership series about being a full-time YouTuber for 5 years. So if you become a Creative Chronicles member, which is like $1.99 a month, you can see my whole story about what happened with me going to uni and whatnot. What about when you try your best but you don't succeed? So that comes into the intrinsic value of effort and trying. If it's only about the success for you, then yeah, not succeeding will make you feel like all the effort wasn't worth it. But if you find joy in the effort and you find value in the act of trying, then it actually doesn't matter what the outcome was. It's more important that you tried in the first place. Reese, thanks for coming through, man. Doggy, thanks for redeeming the hydrate. I actually do need it. I respect the plug. You've got to, you know what I mean? Okay. Oh, Foxy, I read it. You know this is my skill. All right, let's see what the next one was telling. I thought this was such an interesting one. Oh wait, did I didn't skip it, did I? Hold on. There we go. How do I tell my boss, literally the nicest person alive, I want to leave my job without feeling terrible? Now, this is a really interesting dilemma. I personally, my first thought is, well, a job is not forever. Your boss, I don't know what stage you're at in your life, but especially if you're on the younger side, let's say you're in your 20s, early 20s or whatever, you probably are not in a job you're intending to be in long term. But even if you are, right, let's just not assume anything. Your boss is really nice. You feel terrible about quitting your job, maybe because you feel like they need you. And so without you, they're gonna struggle to run whatever organization they're running, or maybe because you feel like you owe them something because of how nice and how good they've been to you. Listen, we live in a world where your job is going to be a significant portion of your life. If you don't want to do the job, right? If you don't want to do the job, maybe you found something better, you're just not in the right field, or you just straight up don't want to do it, leave. If you don't need to do it as well. I mean, you're already saying that you want to leave the job, so I'm assuming you don't. It's not like you need the job. You gotta understand that, like, employees come and go, right? Your boss this probably not his first rodeo with someone leaving. You just gotta leave. Now, that is actually the kind of just moral, like, internal part of it. Like, it's okay to leave your job. Like, you're allowed to make decisions about your own life, and you shouldn't stay in something out of guilt. Now, how do I tell my boss I want to leave without feeling terrible? So the feeling terrible part, you might feel terrible about it because, you know, you seem to care about your boss. You seem to have some admiration for them. And so saying, actually, I can't work for you anymore, it's going to feel bad. It's going to feel bad. You can't avoid that, really. That's going to happen. So how do you go about it? Go through the proper protocol, you know, give your notice. You can even say a note about how nice it's been to work there and all that. But as long as you make it clear, yeah, I'm leaving. It's been great to work here, but, you know, I've got to move on now. You don't even have to give a reason why you're leaving. You're just saying, hey, I'm quitting. You can show your appreciation for the experience you had, but ultimately, you don't have to give too much info. Just say, it is what it is. I gotta go. I think when you try to overcomplicate it, maybe I can say it like this, say it like that. Be very direct, very straightforward. You can still be polite, but make sure it's known you're leaving the job. Let's see what people are saying. Tell them they had the greatest time working with them and that you want to do more in life. Well, okay, so that's like an interesting thing. The only thing is it would suggest that working with them would be holding this person back, which could be construed as, you know, kind of rude, right? So you don't even need to say that. You don't even need to say that. Like, oh, I see myself doing bigger things. Hey, maybe it's the truth, right? But you don't even need to say that, really. Let's see. Sonic was here posting the trolley problem, bruh. It's not the kind of dilemma we're talking about, unless you have actually been on the train tracks yourself. I wrote my letter of resignation and made sure to say how much I appreciated my bosses and work environment. Then I gave it to them and left so I didn't have to see their faces when they read it. Aww. Aww. Right, yeah, that sounds like a good way to do it. Pull a Saul Goodman and at least you can get a severance package, bruh. You can just stop showing up. I would not recommend that. If you ever wanted a reference, that would not do so well for you. Hey boss man, I'm terribly sorry, but I have to move on to bigger and better things. I respect you and your work, but I think this is where I leave. Thank you for everything. But if your boss is Michael Scott, you're stuck there. Okay. But yeah, that's kind of a nice one. You know, you don't even want to leave your job because of how nice your boss is. That's nice. That's nice. Okay. What is the best way to revise? There is no best way to revise. For the non-British people here, study is what we're talking about. Studying. Potentially, well, mostly educational studying. I mean, I don't know what else you've studied, really. But the best way to do it, there is no best way. There is no best way. It's all about finding what works for you. One of the key things which I think hold people back when they're trying to study is distractions. Distractions, you know, they don't set up their workspace correctly, whether that's at home, at school, at the library, whatever. Your phone, it's got to go. Your phone's got to go, okay? Unless you need your phone, maybe you have flashcards in it or something. If that's the case, you have to disable the apps which are going to distract you. I think distractions are the #1 thing that mean that any study period you do is not going to be as effective as it could be. So you need to try and minimize your distractions as much as possible. Because you're just trying to give yourselves the increased chance of being able to focus. Because focus can be hard for anybody to do, right? And so you just need to give yourself as many opportunities as possible to have a strong focus when you study. As far as the actual like intricacies of how you study, do you use flashcards? Do you try and do rote memorization? Are you just reading the book and writing down? There are so many different methods. You have to experiment with them and see what works for you. I will say, just as like what personally worked for me, when it came to stuff like, and when I say revising, I'm talking more stuff. I'm thinking right now more about subjects like computer science or regular science, where it was about memorizing a lot of information. What worked for me was going through all the course materials and writing everything in my own words in a way where I understood it. I essentially wrote my own textbooks so that I would know everything I needed to know. And then I did a bunch of past papers. If you can find past papers, you must absolutely do that in order to learn how to answer the questions on a test. You know, when it comes to actually just learning and having that knowledge, you don't need to do that. But at least in the UK, your performance is based on exams. You know, that's how they decide how smart you are. Did you do well in this exam? So you need to learn how to take the test, basically. Learn how to take the test. It's as much a thing of how much you know, as well as as much as a thing of, do you know the strategy of how to pass a test? When it comes to stuff like mathematics, where it's not so much just about memorization, but it's about, you know, understanding the logic of things, you just got to do as many practice questions as possible and make sure you understand the variations of those practice questions. A lot of it is just doing the same thing over and over again. Over and over again, in order to get it into your mind, which isn't the most inspired way to learn, admittedly. You know, I think field learning through experience is the most fun way to learn. But if we're talking about how do you study for an exam, you kind of have to be a bit of a machine with it. It's really boring. I remember when I was studying for A-levels, my routine was so rigid. Go to school, come home, eat, revise, sleep. Go to school, come home, eat, revise, sleep. That's all I did for like 4 months straight. It worked, but it did kill me inside a little bit because of how boring it was. But that's kind of, when we're talking about exams, that's what worked for me. Is there anything else I could say in particular? I haven't given specifics because, like I said, it's about what works for you overall. I can't say you should do this, but setting up a good space where you can work without distractions. Trying to stick to a routine. The routine is big, you know. If you don't have a routine, then you might slip up. Oh, okay, I'm not going to revise this day. Maybe I'll do it tomorrow. Once you get to a point where you're saying, oh, maybe I'll do it tomorrow, then you're kind of falling into a bad habit where you don't stick to it. You got to try and hey, everyone has days where they fall off, right? You always got to try and get back on the horse and keep up that routine of, okay, I'm going to try and do this every day, or I'm going to try and do this 5 days a week or 3 days a week, whatever you've decided, trying your best to stick with that. And if you find yourself struggling with getting started, you know, procrastination can be a huge thing where you want to get started on something. This isn't even necessarily revising or studying. This is more so just you have a project and you want to do it, but whenever you can do it, there's like, maybe I should do this first. Actually, let me just browse this real quick. Maybe, you know, it's like your brain kind of throws every little other potential thing you could be doing at you. And it's like, okay, once this is done, then I'll do it. And it's kind of like you fooling yourself into saying you're going to do it. All of a sudden, it's the end of the day. It's like, well, I can't start at this time. That's ridiculous. I guess I'll do it tomorrow. And then that just continues on. Like, that is a pattern I'm pretty sure everyone is familiar with. For me, the best way to tackle that is to just say, I'm going to do this thing for like 2 minutes. I'm just going to get into it. Maybe once I get into it, I'll stick with it. And hey, if after 2 minutes I get distracted, all right, let me get distracted. But at least trying, like for 2 solid minutes, I'm actually going to try and focus on this thing. You know, I found that once you are in it, at least for me, once I'm in it, I can keep it going. But I think getting started is always the hardest part. So that is my advice for what is the best way to revise. Is there anyone in the chat who has said anything about it? Let me see. Create a mock test and do it with friends. Hey, if you can create a mock test, go for it. Let's see. You can see the studying stream on tamagoVODs. Oh yeah, there is actually a stream where I gave a bunch of studying tips. So !VODs in the chat and just search like study tips or something and you'll be able to find it. That is true. That's a good shout. Sachin also promoting the memberships. You can become a member for $1.99 a month as well. That's the lowest tier, so you can do that too. Horse brother is 2022. What do you want me to say? Get back on the Toyota? It doesn't have the same ring to it. Bullo Boy, we're currently at number 127. I've already refined the ones I'm answering though. I need to know if your strats work. What grades did you get? In my A-levels, I got 3 A stars, and for my GCSEs, I got 8 A stars and 2 A's, and I also got an A in the freestanding maths qualification. So I'd say it worked for me, but then again, there are also other factors. It's not just about how hard you study. Sometimes there is a degree of like, you know, a natural ability there. And so it's about finding what works for you as well. Finding what works for you and making it go to your advantage, basically. Yeah. So having your own goals and going for that, basically. Those 2 A's haunt him. Could have had 10 A stars. So, yeah, actually, I mean, they don't haunt me, but they could have been A stars. One of them, I had really bad hay fever on the day, and I was sneezing all throughout. It was my English literature exam. The other one, I don't know what happened. I think the coursework kind of just went a bit haywire. You know, I thought the coursework was good, and then we got it back, and the coursework wasn't that good. I was like, oh, I did everything that I was told to do. But yeah, it doesn't haunt me. Maybe at the time I felt a bit salty. I definitely was salty about the statistics one with the coursework, because I was like, because I did well in the exam. It was just a coursework, so I was like, oh, what happened there? But with the English one, I was like, hey, I was ill. What was I gonna do? Then again, I did well. I'm not gonna, because man, to say I bet you annoyed the other students. Any saltiness I might have felt was kept purely internal. There's absolutely no way on results day I'm gonna be like, I get 2 A's. You know what I mean? Like, dude, am I trying to get shanked? Like, relax. So yeah, those A stars really make you a bit overqualified for the role of a YouTuber, doesn't it? Hey, listen, a lot of YouTubers actually did very well in school. I'm not gonna lie to you. A lot of the YouTubers I've met are actually really smart. So maybe not. Be a pedestrian, drive a Ford Focus, or ride a horse. It's not a question. But I find there are benefits to all three. That was me on my AP literature exam. I got a 4 out of 5 because my teacher didn't teach a single relevant thing that year. She talked about her son for half the class period. I used to have a teacher in primary school who would always tell stories and get distracted from the class, to the point where we as a class knew. We were like, she's gonna teach us for like 7 minutes, and then the entire rest of the lesson is gonna be her telling us some random story. Like, it was like clockwork. As soon as she got onto a tangent, she'd be like, oh, you know what? This reminds me of, boom, lesson is over. You can sit back, relax. She's gonna be telling a story for the rest of the lesson. It was actually, now that I think about it, I'm like, that was hilarious. That was like a cartoon character, how predictable it was. Like, she would never teach a whole lesson. Always a story. Always a story. She could have been a YouTuber, for real, for real. Taking a horse to school slowly with a 3-piece suit is such class, miss those days, bruh. Yo, Trey, what's good, man? Damn. I hope the car crash wasn't fatal, but welcome to the stream, bro. Okay, so the next one is interesting, and I feel like I have a specific, I feel like this quite relates to me, especially because of my nostalgia video. So here's what it says. I feel really nostalgic about the old days almost every week. What should I do to overcome that? So my first thing is, I want to ask, is this nostalgia that you feel for the old days a bad thing? Like, is this something that you feel is holding you back? You know, in my video about nostalgia, that you're saying favorite video, thank you very much. Thank you very much. In my video about that, you know, I talk about how nostalgia can be something that holds us back, but it's not necessarily a bad thing as long as you don't overindulge in it to the point where you're never actually doing anything new or having any novel experiences. Now you're saying you feel really nostalgic almost every week. I often feel nostalgic as well. I mean, a huge part of my channel is about nostalgia and dedicated to nostalgia. And starting out, that wasn't the intention. I just talked about the stuff I grew up with, but it was a huge source of nostalgia for people, and it kind of became a big thing on my channel. So I would first question if this is really something to overcome. Now, let's say you do feel like it's a debilitating thing where you spend so much time in the past, you feel like you can't move on. Now, that's an interesting dilemma, and I think it's all about setting yourself up with new experiences. You've kind of just got to live your life. You've got to seek out new things. Maybe you feel really nostalgic about old media. You've got to find new media. You've got to, you know, don't be dismissing new things because they're not going to be as good as how it used to be. Be open to new things. Make things yourself. You know, you can be part of the next generation of things that give other people nostalgia, right? So try and be creative yourself. And it's fine to give yourself time to feel nostalgia, but also take time to be present as well. Maybe meditation can help with that, or just hanging out with friends, or just finding ways to stay in the moment. Go to a theme park. I don't know. I feel like it's hard to be stuck in the past when you're on that freaking steep incline on the roller coaster. You know what I mean? So yeah, I mean, that's my thoughts on that. You know, it's not necessarily a bad thing, but if you really feel like it's holding you back, then you've got to find new ways to get yourself reinvested in the right now. Don't be dismissive of new things. I'm guilty of this. Right, yeah. I think it's really easy to see new things and be like, ugh, nah. You know, whenever... Now, there's also a sensible place that comes from. It actually makes sense to be cynical of a lot of new media that we see, especially when we see what happens with the, I don't know, the remakes and the sequels and all this stuff. You know, like old series getting rebooted out of nowhere. It's because nostalgia is very profitable. These companies know this and they try to capitalize on it by making these mediocre things. But hey, look, it's new. But it's just like that thing you liked before. So it makes sense why people do feel a certain way about it. But there's also new original media being created. And it's not going to be the biggest franchises. It's not going to be the stuff that's most visible. You do have to put a bit of effort into seeking it out. But it's when you seek it out that you're going to find like the gems, you know? So that's what I'd say about that, you know? Be open to indie games, indie movies. Be open to TV shows that aren't just spin-offs of shows you've watched. Be open to experiences that don't remind you of anything. You know, try new things. I think that's big. James, thanks for redeeming Hydrate. So I just say my thing is, how can nostalgia hold you back in life? You're like curious about how that could happen? It's just that case of never actually trying anything new. Just always reverting to the old and not actually having a vision for the future or having any patience for the present. I feel like that's how it can hold you back. Frenzy there, thanks for the stretch, and I will make sure my posture is checked when I come back down. All right. Yeah. Okay. We're good. Let me see. This may have been an interesting discussion. Let me see what people are saying in the chat. If those old memories make you happy, it's not a bad thing, as long as they don't prevent you from trying to make good memories. Yeah, I agree. It can make you feel depressed about the present though. Are you saying like nostalgia can make you feel depressed about right now because you kind of miss how it used to be? Yeah, it's also worth keeping in mind that we often look at the past through rose-tinted glass, where things appeared much better than they really were, because it's easy for us to paint over the cracks in the past and make it look like it was this perfect picture, when in reality it wasn't that, you know? And the thing that always reminds me of that is, I know I'm gonna be nostalgic about this time right now, and yet there are issues, there are problems, there are things I have to overcome, but I'm gonna feel nostalgic about this one day. I know it's gonna happen, you know? Like, at what age did you start realizing that you're gonna feel nostalgic about the current moment? I think for me, it was around the age of like 19, where I was like, wait a minute, I'm feeling nostalgic for being 16. That was only 3 years ago. That means I'm gonna feel nostalgic about being 19. So yeah, no, that's how it happens, honestly. Fansky, what's up? Saying, am I hyped for the 2022 World's League of Legends? I'm not, but it sounds like you are, so I hope you enjoy. Sometimes I don't listen to some music simply because I'm not interested in a genre of music, which is fair. You know, you don't have to listen to anything you don't want to. But hey, sometimes you might find something new that you didn't know you liked. Let's see. For us, nostalgia is different with the age we're at. Do you mean like in terms of what we get nostalgic about? I mean, what is nostalgic to each generation? Obviously depends on what they grew up with and their experiences, right? So yeah, that makes sense. Tamago, you've been my childhood YouTuber. Watched you in 2017, 2018. Goes boy swag. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. That to me, that's like insane. That's insane to me that I have been a part of people's nostalgia and a part of people's childhoods. Because for me, I still see myself as, oh, I'm trying to make it work as a YouTuber. I don't see myself as, oh yeah, I'm a YouTuber. For me, it's like I still feel like I'm on the come up, and yet I have been a part of people's lives. It's such like a weird mental thing for me. Bladder needs to be filled, bruh. Let's see. I don't know, y'all. Nostalgia makes me feel a little sad because I miss my old life, but I don't really dwell on it too much. Nostalgia can be a bittersweet feeling. 100%. 100%. Let's see. When Tamago stretch. Making Tamago stretch when he's sick. L plus ratio, bro. Oh, man. I'm nostalgic for yesterday. It sort of reminds me of lockdown. It was trash when it happened, but we look back on it fondly because we got to hang out online with mates for hours. I suppose so. I mean, that was kind of like, for me, do I yet look back on that period with nostalgia? Not personally, not yet. Eventually it might happen, but I think, I don't know how much my life has changed from then to now overall, because I already was at home a lot of the time. Maybe one day I'll feel nostalgic about a specific part of that experience. I definitely don't miss lockdown. Me neither. Can you restart the stream for me? I missed it. Alright, people, we'll be right back. Just gonna restart the stream. Sorry, 50, not happening, but welcome. Happy to see you in here. As someone who was homeschooled and a shut-in at the time, lockdown literally did not affect me at all, right? Yeah. Yeah. I'm still nostalgic for that Rocket League video. Mad, let us go. Hell yeah, let's freaking go. Let's go. Oh, man. Even though I understood nostalgia in a way at 8, it truly hit me at like 15 or 16 years old. I'm 19 currently, yeah. Yeah, it hits us at different ages, doesn't it? I think trying new things is great, but it's also good to look back at the past. The thing is, right, it's not bad to try new things, but it is bad to get forced to try new things. I mean, being forced to do something you don't want to do is not a great situation. But I do think sometimes if you find yourself never doing anything new and you have a desire to break out of your comfort zone and expand your horizons, then sometimes you have to like make yourself do something that you ordinarily wouldn't be comfortable with. That's the whole idea of breaking out of your comfort zone, right? So yeah. I'm very nostalgic for the 1700s, a better time. Bruh. Some of those game show games are still doing well now. Broforce is genuinely so sick. Yeah. I feel like every game show game I did, oh, maybe apart from Nidhogg, were big games. Brawlhalla was still fairly small when I did a video on it. And it's still going now, so that's really good. But yeah. Game show was good. Has it been an update from the bully guy from last week? There's not been an update, but hey, you never know. Maybe we'll see it. What is the phobia for nostalgia? Apparently it's nostophobia, repugnance or dislike of the past. The antithesis of nostalgia, nostophobia. Interesting. All right, next one. All right, so this one is a bit more on the lewd side, but I thought it was interesting, and I did want to take it seriously because I do feel like this could be a real dilemma for someone. how do I stop watching porn? Okay, sure. So this person wants to stop watching porn. Okay, my first thing is, why is that? Do you feel like it's having a negative effect on your life? If that's the case, you know, do you feel like you might be addicted to it? If that's the case, then sure. I guess it's all about breaking habits. I think it's all about breaking habits. It doesn't actually necessarily apply specifically to the act of watching porn, I suppose. But how do you break a habit that you want to break? It's about interrupting the conditions which would lead to you engaging in that habit, I think, at least. So if there are certain things which trigger you doing that action, then you want to recognize those things and set blockades in place. Maybe watching a certain show, or I don't know, going to a certain place, or I don't know what it could be. Let me think of an example, right? Let's say you want to stop eating a certain food, right? Maybe there's this shop which sells pizza. Let's say you want to stop eating pizza. You find yourself eating pizza every day because on your way home from work, you go by the pizza parlor, you smell the pizza, you're like, that smells good. You go in and buy one. You want to break that habit. Now, instead of having, you know, forcing yourself to use willpower to break it, so you walk past the pizza shop and you're like, but I said I wouldn't do it. That can only last so long before you're like, I'm gonna give in, and you end up going in. I would suggest taking a different route home that doesn't even allow you to go past the pizza parlor, so that that trigger doesn't even occur. I think that is a big part of habit breaking, and I'm no scientist. I didn't research this stuff. It's just that when I found myself wanting to break a habit, I mean, what example do I have of a habit I've broken or that I needed to break? I don't know if I have the most addictive personality overall, if I'm being honest. So I might not be the best candidate for this. I can't think of an example. Have I tried to break a habit? I mean, I've never been addicted to anything, to be honest. Okay, I might not be the best example for this then. I might not be the best example, but yeah. If you can just find ways to interrupt the triggers which would lead to you taking the action you don't want to take, I think that's a good place to start. Yeah, I mean, anybody else? Can anyone tag team with me on this? Can anyone let me know what ideas they have? You could also, I just saw 50 saying I had a cocaine addiction, so I recognize the trigger and I replaced it with a heroin addiction. Replacement is something that can work, right? So oftentimes when you're in that moment where it's like, oh, I've got to do this thing that you're addicted to, you can be like, actually, instead, I'm gonna do this. So maybe anytime you want to watch porn, you actually decide, actually, I'm gonna go outside, I'm gonna go for a walk real quick. By the time you're done, you've distracted yourself from that thing. Maybe you don't want to do it. Maybe going for a walk is a whole lot for this kind of instance of temptation. So maybe instead you're like, I'm gonna play this game on my phone real quick, or I'm gonna do something to replace whatever it is you're doing that will take long enough for that urge to go away, because the urges are only temporary. Yeah, this is my thoughts on that. Let me see what people are saying. I know this is a more lewd one, but I feel like this could be a real dilemma that someone has. I don't have any like anything against watching porn. I think like watching it is fine, but if you've decided you want to stop watching it, so I feel like you should be able to stop yourself doing something you don't want to do anymore, regardless of if the thing is harmful or not. I know there are some people who are like, it's harmful, you shouldn't do it. I'm like, whatever, bro. Like, for me, it's just another form of entertainment. But let me see what people are saying. If you want to break a habit, slowly stop watching The Hub and ease yourself into something else that you could do instead of that thing. Yeah, similar to what I mentioned. Cold showers, that's how. I have heard something about cold showers. The only thing is, Do you want to have to take a cold shower every time you get that urge? It'll probably happen multiple times a day. Maybe that's not the best. Easing yourself into something is one of the best ways to do it. Yeah, starting slow and then building up, definitely. For me, doing something else, I enjoy it until I forget about it and the urge is gone. I've never really had a strong habit for that though. Fair. Simi, how else can I walk into the pizza parlor, declare myself manager, and pelt anyone who disagrees with snowballs? I should have seen that coming. Bro's addicted to Super Malt, probably. Oh, man. Simi, you've stopped using Twitter. That might be a good anecdote. Oh, okay, that's fair. I mean, yeah, my guy on Twitch, that's a fair thing. So I would never have classed myself as addicted to Twitter, but that's actually a really good example. So thank you for that. So what I did with Twitter is I didn't like that I would sometimes just randomly find myself on Twitter, and I didn't like that, you know. Sometimes I would close Twitter and then immediately create a new tab and open Twitter. Sometimes I would close Twitter on my computer, pick up my phone, and then open Twitter on my phone. You know, I'd be like, wait a minute, why is this like a habit? So it's actually a perfect example. So what I did was I put blocks in place. So I removed Twitter from my home screen. I still have it on my phone because I received DMs on Twitter, but I removed it from my home screen and I added an app to it, which means that in order to enter Twitter, I have to enter a password. And so what that does is it breaks the habit of just automatically opening Twitter. It reminds me, oh crap, yeah, I'm about to enter Twitter. This reminds me. So it's not an automatic thing. It's something I have to manually do. And then as far as Twitter on desktop, I made it so that it removes all algorithmic content. So essentially, it makes Twitter really boring for me because now I'm only seeing the stuff being tweeted by people I follow in order. And a big part of what makes Twitter engaging is that most of the tweets you see aren't actually just the straight up tweets being posted by the people you follow. Most of the tweets you see are like the viral tweets, you know, the tweets where this person liked this and so you see it. Making it so that Twitter was boring for me meant I didn't go on it as much. And so, yeah, I don't go on Twitter nearly as much as I was a few weeks ago. So yeah, that's a perfect example, actually. Thank you for that, Maggie on Twitch. Let's see what we've got. I was addicted to pawns, so I stopped playing chess. My suggestion is to develop OCD and have an extremely guilty conscience and replace your porn addiction with a showering addiction. It's a strategy, I suppose. Is that freaking NYNG? Is that Joe Swanson? Is that what that emote is? I stopped my Twitter addiction and now I read and write more often. Let's go, Madeline. Hell yeah. Let's freaking go. Stop always coughing the same. It's confusing. Me? Have I actually coughed once? Have I? Maybe I have. I don't know. Yes, Frenzy dear. We are. Alright, we're done. Let's see what the next one is. This is an interesting one, actually. Let's take a look at this. I've been through a few rough patches with my relationships, both romantic and platonic, and this has really shaken my confidence with people. How do I go about building that confidence back up again? So, you've had some situations which have resulted in you, you know, feeling like you're not as good with people as maybe you felt you were before, or just feeling not as good about yourself. Maybe it's knocked your self-esteem a bit. I think all self-confidence and self-esteem comes from sort of a recognition of who you are, what you want, and a piece within yourself that like you are good enough, right? I think a lot of issues can occur when you start feeling like, oh, I'm not good enough to be, you know, I'm not a good enough human being, you know. I think when you can get yourself to a point where it's like, actually, I don't have to achieve anything, I don't have to like be anybody, who I am is enough, that is a good point to actually build up and start feeling confident around other people. Now, how do you do that? It's a path of self-discovery, isn't it? And I think it's a lifelong path. I feel like everyone will have moments where they feel like they're on top of their stuff and they know what they're doing. And everyone will have moments where they're like, bro, who even am I? And that is going to be dotted throughout our lives. And there's never going to be a point where you're in one state forever. The state will always ebb and flow, right? I think a couple of good places to start are with like just introspective things like, what do I like doing? Like, what activities do I enjoy? What things do I care about? What am I good at? There's something. There must be like something you can find, right? And when you find that thing, indulge in it. And that can be, okay, that's one aspect of me. That's something I know about myself. What else do I know about myself? Try to, you know, you said it's shaking your confidence with people. I would hope that doesn't mean you're not in contact with anybody. I would still hope you maybe have family members or some close friends you've known for a long time. People that you can still hang out with, because a lot of our internal identity also comes with the people, or comes from the people we're surrounded by. And so making sure not to isolate yourself and sticking with, you know, the people that care about you is important as well. I think you'll find that over time, your confidence with things will build up again when you take care of yourself, you build up your own sense of self-worth, and you stay connected with people who treat you well and who care about you. That's some of my ideas on that. If anyone has any other thoughts on this dilemma, I would like to hear it. Let's see. People just need to fix their life. It's not that hard, bro. Swear to God, you ain't Tinder. Me? I mean, no, I'm not Tinder. What? Bruh. Hey Doc, can you describe me some of them ibuprofens? I can describe them. I can't prescribe them. In fact, I can barely describe them, honestly. Tamago really trying to give dating advice. This isn't even really dating advice. This is more so just this is like self-worth advice, I would say, more than anything. Yeah, like it was affected. Their confidence was affected by relationships they've had, both romantic and platonic. But the issue is that their confidence of people has been knocked. Not necessarily, you know, they need tips for dating, you know? I would just have faith that the rough patches were over. No one is perfect and people fight all the time. But as long as you come to a resolution after the fights, just trust that it's over. Right. I mean, with the rough patches in the relationships, it depends on the situation. But if it's something that can be salvageable, if you believe it can be, and the other person's open to it, then, you know, it may be worth trying to pursue that. I've noticed something. On most occasions, things that are good for you in life, you hate doing them, but the things that are bad for you, you love to do it. Stuff like, you know, exercising, eating healthily, you know, there's a lot of things where it's like that. Yeah, that's true. That's true. It's not everything, because there are some things where, you know, in general, you need to eat for energy, right? What you eat is important, but the fact that we eat at all is a part of us doing something that is good for us. That might not be a great example, but I'll say there are many things where the things that are good for us are also the things that we like to do. But yeah, you're right that there are many things which are good for us that we don't like to do, and many things that are bad for us that we like to do. And I think a big part of that comes with the idea of delayed gratification. A lot of things are good for us in the long term, but they don't feel good in the short term, and so we forego them. And a lot of things that are bad for us feel good in the short term, but in the long term they can have devastating effects. But we are quite short-sighted as you know, individuals. It's hard for us to actually see the value in a long-term thing as clearly as we can see the value in a short-term thing that's right here. And so we prioritize the short-term thing. And so a big part of it is building up your own self-discipline to realize that the long-term goal will be worth it, even if it would be easier or just more instantly gratifying to go for this short-term thing. Did you change the ear pads for your earphones? Because your headphones look fatter. You actually noticed. I was wondering if anyone was gonna notice. So the ear pads on my old earphones, or my old ear pads, I should say, they started peeling off. So I got these new ones, and they are bigger and they're actually way more comfortable. Like they're way more comfortable. But yeah, I was wondering if anybody would notice. So nice one, nice one. Yeah, I did get new ones today. How much observation must you have? How would you notice that? Sachin is just on a different level, honestly. On a different level. It's weird. Why wouldn't we evolve to just love everything that makes us healthy? I think I have an idea of why that is. And I'm sure it's been researched a ton as well. But my idea for why that is that, you know, back during the Neanderthal days where we weren't in developed, you know, in a developed world where it's so easy to get access to basic necessities like food, drink, and all that other stuff that we need, right? Anything which would give you goodness in the moment is something you went for. Food was scarce, or scarce, I should say. So any food which gave you energy, you just went for it. You ate it. It wasn't about, okay, is this food the thing that's going to be most healthy for me? It's just, what do I need right now? The foods that give us the most energy, like in the short term, are the sugary foods, the sweet tasting foods, right? Even though in the long term, it's not the stuff that's best for us. And I feel like that's kind of just a remnant of that. Like the things, we used to not live that long. And so we needed the things that felt good right now, because those were our clearest indicators of survival of today. It was all about, how do I survive today? Now we have an abundance of resources, which is weird why so many people are still suffering. It's because we're not gonna get into that, but generally speaking, there's an abundance of resources, and so it's no longer this thing of, oh, we just need to get whatever we can. And yet we are still in that mindset, or it's not a mindset, it's kind of like a biological, and this is all my theory, by the way. It's all my theory. But we still have that brain of, the thing that makes me feel good now is the most important thing, because I might not see tomorrow. Chances are you're gonna see tomorrow, and so planning for the future is way more important nowadays than it was freaking, I don't know, 1,000,000 years ago. That's my theory. That's my theory on why we prefer short-term things, or why we didn't evolve to prefer long-term results over short-term results. Did I get a beard lineup? I didn't. I mean, I got a haircut last week. And he did line up my beard, but I haven't recently gotten a beard lineup. But yeah. Let's see. How can a guy like you that split pasta in front of the new... Oh, you mean spilt pasta. Oh, you did. I read that wrong. My bad. In front of the new girls, get no gyal. It's kind of confusing. You have all the game and stuff, bruh. See me speaking facts beyond facts beyond facts. Right. Oh, Frenzy did. Let's see what you're saying. I feel like I was born into the wrong body, but I feel like I'm being forced, where I am only being out into one gender schools and being forced to be made friends with people of the same gender. Right. I don't know what I can personally say to help with that, but it does sound like a rough situation, and I hope that you have people around you who are on your side and can help with that situation. And I know that there are loads of communities online, you know, trans communities, LGBTQ+ communities that can help with that stuff. So I do hope you're able to get any sort of support that you need. Yeah, and I see that Madeline has been messaging you back as well, so thank you. Shout out to Madeline. Madeline should just take over. Fair. Are those new glasses? Your glasses look glossier. These? I got these a few months ago, so if you're talking about did I get them within the last few months, yes. But if you mean did I get them like this week, no. They are a few years old. Oh, when you say the cough, are you talking about me clearing my throat? Oh, okay, I get you. I just ate a whole box of mac and cheese. I should not take over. You get an increase of power in your glasses, bro. Okay, let's see what the next one is. Oh, I can't help with this one, but I thought it'd be interesting to see what other people think. How do you cope with the whole UK economic crisis? The energy prices going up, fuel prices, food prices. I am worrying too much for myself and my parents and grandparents. Honestly, I have no idea. When I look at what's happened and what is happening, and then like there's always more news. You have the news, and this is specific to the UK, but in terms of economic crises, it's happening all over. But with specifically the news of like the pound crashing and all of that, so you know, energy prices are up, and your money is gonna be able to get you less than you were able to get before. I mean, or at least the prices are gonna go up because UK energy companies importing are gonna have to pay more, like in terms of the actual number value. The whole thing is like, I don't even know. And then you see that, you know, there are tax cuts for the richest in the nation. I don't know. When it comes to the idea of worrying, I have talked about this before, but I think you've just got to keep on pushing. You know, you don't want to be lost to despair where you're feeling like, it's not worth it. It's freaking over. There's nothing we can do. I'm just gonna like crawl up in a ball and cry. Hey, sometimes you can feel like crying over this stuff, and if you want to cry, go for it. But also you've got to be like, I'm gonna keep trying anyway. And as far as like practical action to take, you know, politically, I don't really know. There's definitely better people to ask about this, but just on the idea of coping, like as an individual coping with it, you just got to find your moments of joy. I think you got to find the things that, you know, make you feel happy still. Spend time with the people you enjoy spending time with. You know, try and plan and see how you can make things work. But it honestly, it's a worrisome time. It makes sense to worry. I don't think don't worry is gonna help anybody. There are many legitimate reasons to worry, but I would say while you worry, still keep living your life. You know, you don't wanna just worry, and it can be hard, but you just gotta find those things. You gotta find those things that will still, they'll take your mind away from it, but also give you something to focus on and something that matters to you. You know, I don't know. That's my thoughts on that. But yeah, whenever I think about this stuff, I'm like, bruh, it's peak. It's peak. Simi's members are the only thing keeping him alive. True. Become a member. youtube.com/tamago247/join. Frenzy dear, thanks for the hydrate. Are you gonna wear that thing every Thursday now? I don't know yet. Maybe. I haven't decided. What makes me... Simi doesn't wash it. I absolutely do wash it when it needs washing. What makes me feel better is imagining all the times in history where this has happened and seeing the patterns where it did actually get better. It is a form of escapism, probably. Right. I think that's actually a good idea, though. You know, that reminds me of when I was responding to fears about Or I was talking about how, you know, when I was younger, I had a real fear of like swine flu and all that. And my sister was telling me about how, you know, these things, they come and go. You're gonna be okay. You know, you can't explain why, but you will be okay. Just that sometimes you actually do have to have blind faith. I feel like when there's nothing else, sometimes you just gotta be like, yo, every little thing is gonna be all right. You know what I mean? That's all you can do sometimes. I think you just have to wear more jumpers this winter and use less heaters and stuff. Just use entertainment as a way of coping. Yeah. Nah, the winter is gonna be... it's gonna be an interesting time. Interesting time, indeed. How much is member and what exactly do you get for the cheapest? The cheapest one is $1.99 a month, and you get access to 2 playlists on the channel. One called the Creator Chronicles and one called Behind the Scenes. If you go on my channel, I mean, I can show you real quick right now. You can actually just see everything you would get as a member, so you can decide beforehand if you're interested in it. I think that's probably the best way to go about it. So I'll show you real quick just so you can see. But yeah, you see this. So the Creator Chronicles, which has these 19 videos, and then Behind the Scenes, which has these 10 videos, and you also get access to this series, but that's in the Creator Chronicles. So essentially you get access to all of these videos. You can just go and look on the channel if you want to check it out. You get access to all of these and all of these, and they get updated every so often as well. And you're just supporting the channel as well. So that is, if you want to actually just see what you get, you can actually look at the playlist without being a member just to see what you would unlock. So yeah, and you can cancel anytime. So yeah, man, $1.99 a month. Inflation got you too, Simi. Wait, what? That's the price it was. That's the price it was. I can't see the join. Yeah, you get my room tour. You get my room tour. If you get it. I can't see the join button on mobile. Hold on. Let me see if I can. It's on the like main page. I have to like log in as a different person in order to show you it on mobile. I can pay $1.99 and still watch all the Creator Chronicles fully. You can watch those, but you don't get access to the never before seen videos and the director's commentaries. But yeah, you do get the Creator Chronicles. Back in my day, all members' offers were 10 cents. Damn. Take us back, honestly. Take us back. Okay. So, if you see here, the join button is right below this bit right there. I wish they didn't make it, you know, less visible. It used to be like bright and blue, but that's it right there. So if you click on that, and if you don't have it, it might not be rolled out in your country, or I don't really know. Some people just don't get it, and I don't know why. I don't know why actually, but yeah. This is on Android. This is a Samsung Galaxy. So yeah, that is what's up. I like the director's commentary, so I'm gonna keep my tamagoVODs certified. Let's freaking go. Hell yeah. All right. Let's see what the next one is. Okay, yeah, this is a super simple one. And I think people in the chat can help out with this as well if you have any suggestions. I want to know if you track your games and films, and if so, how. So I used to use IMDb to track all my films. Now I tend to use Letterboxd, Letterboxd. It's a good way of tracking films and miniseries. If you want to track TV shows, there's something called Serial. I think it's called Serial. What's it called? TV show tracker. Serialed with a D, maybe? It was if Kevin was here, he'd be able to help us so easily. I feel like it was called Serial or Seriesed. It might be called Seriesed. Let me see. Okay, I can't find it right now, but there's something like that. I know that doesn't help if anyone in the chat knows. But what I personally used to use was something called Episode Calendar, and that would show like what dates the new episodes were coming out as well. So yeah, I used to use episode calendar. If you type that in, it will come up. I don't use it as much anymore because I don't track my TV shows like that. But I used to use it a lot in the 2015 to 2017 period. Tracking games, I don't do that. But I know you can track games using how long to beat. I don't know what other game trackers there are. Maybe you can sign into Metacritic and track games on there as well. But yeah, if anyone in the chat knows of any good sites for tracking games, put it in the chat as well. But yeah, just a quick, easy one. That's what I've used in the past to track my stuff. I saw that your watch of the Tester Season 2. That is not me actually watching the Tester Season 2. That's me talking about, it's essentially a recap on watching the Tester and my thoughts on watching the Tester Season 2. I have not recorded me watching the Tester Season 2 and made it members only. That would absolutely suck. I have not done that. It is just me discussing the series overall. I used to use my notes app, but I like to see other people's reviews and following my own friends on Letterboxd. Fair. I use IGN to track how long it takes to complete games. I was thinking that IGN had something like that as well, actually. So yeah, nice. Nerf Carrot, I appreciate that. Hell yeah. Thank you very much. Let's see. No, he doesn't. He hates the recommendations he gets from the chat. He puts it on the list, but then he never watches it. I watch him sometimes. Sachin saying kinda clickbait. You're saying for the I mean, the video is called Thoughts on Reacting to Seasons 2 and 3 of the Tester. You know, now granted, it used to be called Reacting to Seasons 2 and 3 of the Tester. But even then, it's 40 minutes. I feel like it's pretty clear I am not watching the entire series and reacting to it in one 40-minute long video. But yeah, I updated the title to say thoughts on, so that it'd be even clearer what it was. Tweet every time you finish an episode of your TV shows. Is that the way to track? I guess. Unless you just are asking for me to do that because you want to know. In which case, maybe. But probably not. Okay, what do we have? This one. I was just like, what is this? This is such an interesting one. And I know I say that for a lot of them, but this one, in my opinion, is particularly interesting. My friend has been doing art for the past year, and they are really good. They send me all the drawings they've done, but last week, I saw one of their drawings on Reddit. I didn't realize they had any sort of social media account, so at first, I thought my friend just made the account, but I checked, and the account was not theirs. Then I thought they stole the art, so I asked, but the person with the account owned the art. I reversed image searched all of my friend's art, and realized she was stealing it and telling me she did it. What to do? What a dilemma. This is like, and it's not a dilemma in terms of the stakes are so high, but in terms of the actual kind of like psychological process, it's really interesting. Someone is telling you that they've made this art and their art is stolen. To me, it seems that the person, this friend of yours, is doing it because they want to be known for being good at something. They want to be known for being good at art. You know, they like that people think they're good at art, and so they're taking art and saying, "Hey, I made this." I think this is it's something that people do when maybe they feel like they don't really have something. They don't have a thing that makes them special, that makes them stand out, and so she's kind of chosen this thing, and you know, it's weird. It is weird to do, but I don't want to be too quick to be like, oh, what a freaking liar, this freaking untalented asshole. Like I don't want to be like that, because I think it can come from a place of, you know, sadness, a place of I wish I was good at art, or I like that my friends think I'm good at something, you know. So I don't want to like chastise this person. Now you're asking for yourself what to do. I think you got to be very gentle in your approach. It's very possible that she could become incredibly, what's that called? Defensive. She would become incredibly defensive, you know. She could even shut down completely. Like you approach her, you say, hey, so I know you've been stealing this art. I know it's not yours. You know, she could be like, you know, because once you've been caught red-handed like that, there are two options. She can either be like, yeah, or she can be like, nope. She can just deny it to the grave. Now that would be weird, but it can happen. I think the other more likely thing is that she's gonna feel caught out. And I think that's an opportunity for a discussion of why did you do this? There are 1,000,001 potential reasons why a person might have done it. And just trying to get to the bottom of it, you know, not doing it from a point of, I caught you, I'm shaming you. Just doing it from a point of, you've been passing off this art as your own. And it's not like you had this malicious intent of like selling it as though it's your own. You were just showing it to me and our friends, you know, so clearly you wanted us to see you this certain way. Why is that? Do you feel like you didn't like the way we saw you before? Is that, you know, it can be a place of insecurity, and I think tackling it from a gentle and empathetic point of view is the best way to go about it. It's such an interesting situation. I don't see, my situation is not the same. Madeline, we'll see you in a moment. My situation is not the same, but I used to be the editor of my school's newspaper. My school started a newspaper. Like, I started it with a few other students, and I was the editor of the newspaper. And then people would send me their articles, and I'd arrange it into the paper, and it'd get published, right? Being the editor of that paper was so annoying because I was basically giving people homework. And I know what it's like to be in a teacher and wait for people to receive their homework. But for me, it was even more annoying because it's not just I want this homework so I can check your progress. We have a newspaper coming out at the start of next week. I need you to send me your article, bro. But anyway, there was someone, in fact, there were a couple of people, but I'm going to stick to this one person in particular. There was someone on my writing team who stole all of their articles. You know, they wrote this article, and I thought to myself, wow, this is so good. Let me like just do some fact checking just to make sure everything has been reported on correctly. And then I found that he had word for word copied the article from this website. So I email him. I say, hey, you know, I found that you seem to have copied this article. We need the articles written in the paper to be original. So, you know, I would ask that for the future, you write an original article. You know, you don't have to be part of the paper. You don't have to do this. But if you want to be part of the paper, it's a completely optional thing. No one had to do it. If you want to be part of the paper, please send me original stuff. And so I just didn't publish his work in that paper. And he was like, okay, I'm sorry. Next week, this dude sends me an article. And immediately I'm like, okay, let me just check. You know, fool me once, right? Let me just check that this is original. I copy the text. I paste it into Google. The dude stole the article again. I was like, I literally asked you not to do this. And you don't have to, like, no one's forcing you to write for the paper. You don't get paid for this. It's voluntary. Stop sending me plagiarized articles. So I told him again, I said, hey, I know you copied this. Like, you can't do this. Stop it. Third time. Dude sends me an article, right? I copy it. I paste it into Google. It's not an exact match. I'm like, oh, it's original. I'm reading the article and I'm like, this guy's vocabulary is not like this. You know, and I'm not saying the words he was using were like too big or sophisticated, because typically news articles try to be simple, right? So that the majority of people can understand. But I was reading it and I was like, you don't talk like this and you don't write like this. This doesn't sound like you. So I went back to like the Google search and I found an article, and basically he did the thing that a lot of people do. We've probably all done it at some point, where you copy something and then you go to freaking, I don't know, a thesaurus, and you just switch certain words so it's not an exact match. I told him, I said, bro, listen, stop. I just told him, you don't have to write for the paper, okay? It's okay. It's all right, man. You can leave. Because it's not, for me, it's not even like firing him. I'm like, dude, you're not even doing the job in the first place. Stop. I was just like, why would you do this 3 times? Bro really wanted the job. If you want the job, then do the job. Why are you not doing the job and you want the job? Honestly, I was tired of this guy. So I don't know if it's exactly the same as an art thief situation, but I do have experience confronting someone who has passed off another's work as their own, basically. So yeah. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, I punch your face. Fool me thrice, you get kicked in the sack, bruh. Grave Down is saying, let me guess, he changed a couple of words. Yes. Anushi, what's good? Or does that say Tanushi? Welcome to the stream. I think in a video you said Gangnam Style overtaking Justin Bieber was a news article. Yes, that's the school newspaper I'm talking about. You're right. What's that say? Jada Kikta, welcome to the stream. Welcome. Simi, stop looking at me like that. You make me feel like the victim. I feel like you should say, hey, listen, you don't need to take art from someone else. Just tell them, try art yourself and be calm. Don't worry, just try. Yeah, you know what? That's a good point. Maybe this person is genuinely interested in doing art and they feel like their art is not good enough to show. I would say, hey, listen, if you're making art, we're not going to judge you. Like, if you're a good friend, you're not going to look at someone's art and see that they're actually trying. You know, if someone's just doing it and you're like, okay, that looks like trash, bro, what are you doing? Well, if someone's actually trying, you're not going to be like, oh, you should quit, you suck. You're going to be like, oh, this is okay. You know, maybe give them a few pointers, give them some feedback, but like, let them know you can show us your art. It doesn't have to be perfect. You're trying to do something. No one starts off amazing at anything. You have to practice. So that's a good point to mention as well. Bruh, if you become hostile over that art you stole, it can happen. It can absolutely happen though. I can totally imagine that. Trying like my phone wallpaper I've made for people. What? I feel like I'm out of the loop here. Can I copy your homework? Sure, just change up some of the answers, literally. She really lied to the person for a whole year. Wild. Yeah, that's the fact that they've been doing the art for the past year. That is actually a bit crazy. Like, I'm like, this person is not all right, honestly. but you never know what's going on. You never know what's going on. Oh, you made RJ a phone wallpaper. Oh, okay, interesting. Cool. Okay, this next one was also one where I don't know. Let me see it. Like I don't know what I can say in particular, but you know, let me read it to you guys so you know what's going on. I often feel like I'm just bumbling around, for a lack of a better term, sort of just looking like an idiot. I see other people who seem much more interesting and can actually do things. Meanwhile, often I feel worried about a lot of normal things. Like sometimes the concept of paying in a shop, not in a criminal way, mind you, or going on a bus or train or going out scares me because I feel like I'll bugger everything up and annoy everyone and somehow do something incorrect. And I feel as though I give myself and other people give me too much leniency. Like when I am rude, which I feel like I am far too much, basically I just feel like a moron who can't really do stuff. And if I went out and did something, I'd somehow bugger it up. And if I did make new friends, I'd be too boring and uninteresting to talk to them and couldn't do these things. Don't know how to express it really. Yo, Min-Max Show, thank you for the raid. We're currently doing Not a Therapist, where I try my best to give people advice which isn't going to completely ruin their lives, to their dilemmas. If you want to submit your dilemma, !NAT in the chat. If I did make new friends, I'd be too boring and uninteresting to talk to them and couldn't do those things. Don't know how to express it really, but I just feel like a bumbling idiot a lot of the time. for me with this, just sounds like a case of, you know, a lot of insecurity and potentially also some anxiety, you know, stuff like being worried about paying in a shop because you're worried you're gonna do it wrong. A lot of what I'm seeing is the case of you feeling like you're doing it wrong somehow, and that could be, you know, just being overly self-conscious, and, you know, you say you feel like you give yourself too much leniency, but I feel like maybe in some regards you say that you feel like you're rude to people all the time. Okay, sure, but I think that you could actually ease up on yourself more, you know. I don't know you, of course, but I feel like you're probably not as bad as you feel you are. You say that other people are much more interesting and can actually do things. I'm sure there are things that you can do. I'm not gonna say you're this ultra talented person. Again, I don't know you, but that you've got to try and give yourself at least a bit more credit. I would say try and give yourself a bit more credit. Don't be too harsh on yourself. You know, for me, this is one of those things where I can't say specifically do this, do this, do that, because I don't know the specifics. A lot of this is just about how you're feeling about yourself. I would say give yourself a break. Like, you're probably not as bad as you feel you are. I mean, you almost definitely aren't as bad as you feel you are. You feel like you're bumbling around. Maybe you have this fear that other people are seeing you bumbling around like an idiot and you feel a certain type of way about it. People are paying far more attention to themselves than they are paying to anybody else typically. And so I wouldn't worry too much about how I'm being perceived by others. And it can be hard to do when you're in your head a lot, and maybe when you are feeling anxious about certain things. But it is important to keep in mind nonetheless. Is there anything else I wanted to say here? You say other people give you too much leniency. That's people being patient with you. And, you know, when you can find people that are patient with you, that's a good thing. That's a very good thing. So appreciate those people and don't feel like, oh, you're being too soft with me. Like, they sound like they're on your side. You know, they sound like you're on your side, and that's a good thing. I would just say give yourself a break. It sounds like you're being quite hard on yourself, honestly. So yeah. Oh my god, time ago I loved your possible quiz video. I watched it multiple times. I am so new. I literally just joined and I just randomly found you on here by accident. Yo, Arc Blademan, Dark Forgiver, thank you very much for the kind words. I do appreciate that. And welcome to the stream. Currently doing Not a Therapist, trying my best to give people advice to their dilemmas that isn't going to completely make their lives implode. So yes, thanks for coming through. All right, let's see what we've got. Night Pro, what's good? Saying, bro, I've been away for college, man. Not eternity. Well, like 2-3 months. Night Pro, we see you in here. I want to joke during these, but I don't want to offend someone, so I'll just shut up till the next question, bruh. Oh, man. Another paragraph. Hey, like, sometimes people got a lot in their mind, all right? They got a lot they got to express. Simi, you're kind of mean. Like, just post it on the newspaper and it's calm. Like, no one's gonna actually read it. Like, who actually reads the newspaper? Wait. It's me being mean for not allowing someone to just copy an article? Okay, if that's me being mean, I'm mean then. You're not gonna publish an article in my newspaper that you did not freaking write, okay? If that's being mean, call me freaking mean. Will I do the Impossible Quiz 2? I do intend on I've already actually played the Impossible Quiz 2 on stream. And you can see the stream VOD, exclamation point VODs, but I will be turning it into a video. Yes, I will. Imagine PS5 was released 2 years ago. Wow, that's actually crazy to think about. Yeah, that's actually crazy. Holy crap. Night Prayer, you're not getting me with that. Sorry. Not happening. Every 2020's time ago video has been a hit. Thank you very much. Let's freaking go. I'm trying. All right, what have we got? Trey said, can you show the skipped ones? I mean, a lot of the skipped ones are just silly. This one just says, why is Scone Pro just so damn sexy? Like, like, what am I meant to do with that? What am I meant to do with that, realistically? Okay. This one is specifically about YouTube, which I like. I feel like I can help with this. So, let's give it a go. I have a ton of ideas for a YouTube channel, but I can only do this if I change the main game of the channel. And if I change the game, I may jeopardize the whole channel statistics. Should I try to balance my time by doing 2 channels, but potentially overwork myself? Should I change the way I do my channel? Or completely take a risk and change what I do on my channel? I could also maybe gradually change the channel. So what we're talking about here is like a change in content strategy on a YouTube channel. I think the first thing to ask yourself is, do you like, and this is from Click, by the way, do you like what you're currently doing on the channel? Because you say you have a ton of ideas for a YouTube channel, but it can only happen if you change the main game of the channel. The current main game of the channel, do you like making that content? If you like making that content, and this new content is just additional stuff you'd want to make, and you don't think the two would fit well together, then starting another channel for that content might actually be the best bet. But only if you are okay with the fact that splitting your focus between 2 channels means that both of them are not going to be able to perform as well as they could if you put all your focus into one. Now, if it's a situation where the current game you play on your channel is something you're not as interested in anymore, but you're hesitant to stop because that's where your core audience came from, then I would say you can probably switch it. You can probably switch, you know, what you're doing. Now, let's say your channel had like freaking, I don't know, 50,000 subscribers. Like, it's already a fairly decently sized channel. Then that might not be something you want to do. But it all comes down to, if you genuinely don't want to play that game on the channel anymore, like you're not interested in it, it's just worth switching it. Because trying to keep something up just because other people liked it when you don't like it anymore, you know, this YouTube stuff, it's like, yeah, you can make a living out of it, but it's also, for me, a big point of being a YouTuber is that it's a job that is actually fun. Like, it's a career path where you get to dictate what you do. If you feel beholden to your audience where you can only do this thing and you can't do what you actually like, then I feel like you're in a situation you don't want to be in. So I would say, if you don't want to play that game anymore and you want to do this new game, play the new game on the channel. Yeah, a lot of your audience are going to bounce because they didn't come for that. But some people, there's going to be at least a little overlap between the Venn diagrams, right? I'm trying to represent a Venn diagram here. There's going to be maybe I represented something else, my bad. There's going to be a little overlap where some of those people watch the new stuff. And as far as the algorithm is concerned, YouTube is just trying to connect videos to audiences, right? So you're going to find your new audience if you do a good enough job. So I wouldn't say that's something to worry about too much. If the thing is you really want to do these 2 things together, you can do them. I would say start a new channel if you want to do both, because trying to do 2 different things on the same channel isn't going to work as well. So if you really want to do both, I'd say separate channels. If you want to do one and you really want to just do this new idea, I'd say switch to the new idea. You're saying you can gradually change it. You can do that, but do you actually like the thing you're doing right now? For me, that is the biggest thing. If you like what you're doing right now, okay, keep doing it. If you don't like what you're doing right now and you'd much rather do this new thing, just do the new thing. That's my suggestion. So yeah. Let's see if anybody had something in the chat to say. Motivational, bruh. Merculia saying, hello, Short Kings. Hello, hello. How you doing? Nipper saying, I'm 6 foot. Okay. Oh, man. But yeah, that's my advice for that. That's my advice for that. you're worried about overworking yourself as well. Yeah, no, like I feel like you shouldn't be overworking yourself, especially if this is not something you do full time, because you have other responsibilities in your life, and YouTube, at least when you're starting out, should be something you do because you enjoy it, not just something you do because it pays the bills. So yeah. Okay. Damn, the illness is getting to me. I'm actually starting to feel even worse than at the start of the stream. Oh man. Okay, okay. Oh crap. I put this one in? Alright, I mean, we'll see. I don't know. I can't remember what it was. Oh, I remember this. I remember this. Okay. Oh, Madden, I just have like a cough. I have a cough and a sore throat. So yeah. I might have caught a cold or something. Sachin saying, I think what you want to do with any YouTuber is just make videos you enjoy watching. If you don't make videos that you wouldn't watch, then that's a sign that you're not enjoying making videos. This can be true, but I do think that sometimes the videos you enjoy watching aren't necessarily things you'd enjoy making yourself. Case in point for me, animations. I loved watching animations, but I don't like drawing, and so me doing animation was a means to an end. It was just a way to make videos. And I also think it's possible to enjoy making videos that you don't necessarily watch, although that is a weirder thing. Like, I would hope you enjoy watching the stuff you make, but I think, hey, maybe you've got this skill. Maybe you're like really good at woodworking and you make woodworking videos, but you don't watch woodworking videos because you're a freaking woodworker. So you see woodwork all the time. It makes sense that you would actually make content that you don't watch. So I feel like there's some nuance to that point. Rest in peace, stick figure Simi. I miss that guy. Can it be transferred via stream? Because I don't want to get sick from you. It might be possible. But if you subscribe to the stream, it provides an insulating bubble around you, which will prevent you from getting ill. So that is my advice for that. Okay, take a look at this one. Start making vlogs visiting landmarks and telling things you didn't know about. That sounds like Tom Scott. How desperate are you for money? Listen, we're in an economic crisis right now. Weren't you here 20 minutes ago when we were talking about that? If you do need a COVID kit, just let me know. I've got a COVID test kit. It's all good. Thank you, bro. Do things that are good for your soul and not for your wallet. Ideally both, honestly. Ideally both. But yes, you if you have to choose, yeah, your soul is more important. Oh crap, I might be dropping frames. Hopefully that comes. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. I was about to say hopefully it comes back. How much does being a therapist pay you? Nothing. I'm not a licensed therapist, okay? The advice I give should not be taken seriously in any capacity. So this all happened yesterday. This happened yesterday and I'm still so worried and confused on what to do. I found out my best friend's girlfriend has been sending nudes to another guy for a few weeks, and when I confronted her about it, she said it was a one-time thing and she would stop. My friend has told me how much she means to him, and he is thinking about moving in with her. Should I tell him and possibly ruin it when she said she would stop, meaning I ruined my best friend's relationship for no reason, or help him get out of being heartbroken if she is lying? Okay, so first off, you found out that she was sending nudes to another guy for a few weeks. So it wasn't a one-time thing. It was happening over an extended period of time. That means it's not a one-time thing, fundamentally. If you were to tell your best friend, you would not be ruining the relationship. You are merely relaying information that I think he should know. Like, I think he should know. I think if you have found out that your best friend's partner has been, you know, cheating on them, you should tell them, you know? And you just be like, hey, I found this thing, you know, and how they react to it is how they react to it. But I personally think it's something that they should know. And it's one of those things where if they were to eventually find out, and then they realize that you knew and you didn't tell them, you know, I feel like that would be a bit of a betrayal of trust. Like, you knew this thing, you know, you're worried about them. You're worried about ruining the relationship. Here's the thing, right? Whether he decides to stay with her or not is his decision, right? But you're now in this situation where you know something that is significant about the relationship. So you have to think about it like this. These two people are in a relationship, but you and this one person know something that this other person doesn't know, that has a significant bearing on the relationship. That's not fair. Like, it's his relationship. He should know, right? I know you're worried about ruining it, and I know that, you know, you say he likes her a lot and you don't want to ruin a good thing. It's not a good thing, though. It's not a good thing. And if they want to work through it, it should be something they decide to do together. It shouldn't be something there where you decide, oh no, it can work out. I'm not gonna tell him. I just think, especially because you said he's your best friend. He's your best friend. Your loyalty, so to speak, should be more with him. And I know you don't want to hurt him, but the truth must be known. The truth must be known. I feel like that's the most, like, actual direct answer I've given as to what I think a person should do. But I just think, I think you should tell him. I think you should tell him, honestly. Or in the very least, you should strongly encourage him to ask her. Nah, you should just tell him, honestly, because just tell him. Just tell him. That's what I would say. Let's see. Don't drop your frames. You won't be able to see without them. Can you become prime minister and you'd replace the pound with the tamacoin and save the economy? Honestly, if I could, I would. Seriously though, why is it all women related? Kind of jarring. It's not all women related. Wait, the last one was about YouTube channel strategy. The one before that was about feeling like a bumbling idiot. The one before that was art thief friend. The one before that was how to track games and films. There have actually only been two, arguably two, that are about dating. So I wouldn't say that at all. Last week there were a lot more, but this week, yeah, no, I wouldn't say there were nearly as many. How do you even find that out? Yeah, I mean, we don't know how the person found out that, you know, the nudes were being sent, but that is not the scope of what I need to know. Take the opposite of his advice. What would the opposite of my advice be? Oh, don't tell him? Okay. She said it so that one would send each day for a few weeks. Yeah, she was like, oh, let me just schedule these. Your best friend can handle it himself after he finds out. You do not have to be involved. Right. Right. But oh wait, so Madden, are you suggesting not telling him then? Okay, yeah. So you're saying he should tell him and then he handles it himself. Yeah. If someone was cheating on me and my best friend knew, I'm down one friend. Right. I get you. You know, I can understand a situation where it's like, I wish I didn't know this thing, but you know this thing, you know? So you deciding not to tell someone is a decision, right? It's a decision. It's not like, oh, I knew, but you know, no, you decided not to tell them. There are ramifications to that. Let's see. It's good people have learned not to get game advice from Simi this week, bro. Oh man. Okay. Yeah, that's my thoughts on that. I don't know if I'm even gonna do this one. Oh my god. I don't know if I'm gonna do this one. Okay, so this one actually is a sort of relationship related one. I have a very straightforward answer to it, but again, it's a bit crude, okay? It's a bit crude, so forgive me. I really like this girl, but I can't talk to her because every time I talk to her, I get a massive boner. She hasn't seen it yet, but she almost saw it. So that's a bit wild. I'm just looking at the emote Madeline put in. It's a bit wild. Maybe. So Black Wolf Google saying get tighter underpants. Maybe wear jeans. Maybe you kind of just need to wank more. I don't know. Like, I don't feel like that should be happening every single time you talk to someone. Maybe there are needs that aren't being met. You know what I mean? Like, maybe there are needs that aren't being met. And you should probably satisfy those needs yourself. That's my thought on that. Like, I mean, I don't know, but hey, maybe that'll help. Oh man, flick it up into your waistband, bro. I mean, maybe, but like that, if you're already talking to the person, doing that action, just the motion of it can be very, very suspect if you get caught. So, yeah. Tense your thighs, diverts all the blood and removes the stiffy. Hey, if that works, go for it. Go for it. There's a way to reduce circulation down there. You could just ask your doctor about it or something. Doctor? I mean, I don't think it's serious enough to require medical intervention, if I'm honest. 50, I read that message before, actually. I read it already. Maybe acquaint yourself more with women so the sight of one doesn't excite you as much. That too. You know, from this, we can't be clear if it's... Because maybe this person just is really into this one particular person. But hey, if it is just a thing of girls in general, you need to acquaint yourself more with them, and maybe your attitude towards, you know, women is a bit off. Because, I don't know. Obviously, as a teenager, your hormones are freaking wild. They're going crazy. And it happens. It happens. But it can also be a bit concerning for her, you know, if like she were ever to see it, or if it's a thing of like it happens every single time. I don't know. I don't think it's the craziest thing. I don't think it's the craziest thing, but you know, I think there are remedies to it. And what I suggested before wasn't a joke. Maybe that's what you need to do to get yourself a bit less excited. I don't know. I don't know, to be honest, but maybe. It's not as bad as getting a random boner in class. Yeah, that happens. That happens. Whatever. You're sitting down. It's okay. Just seeing Popley's message. Are you sure he didn't take Viagra? I would hope. I would hope. Who is this woman? Bloody Madison Beer. Oh man. It doesn't matter what she looks like. He just this person. Oh yeah, okay. He just likes her. He just likes her, you know what I mean? Okay, what do we have? Oh, it's 10. Okay. Last one, people. Last one, and then we'll call it for today's stream. We will pick this up again next Thursday. Oh, you know what? You know what? There are two I'm gonna cover. One because I can do this one really quickly, and then one more because I really like the dilemma and I want to talk about it. Okay. So it's gone to the point in one of my friend groups where I just want to leave. Everyone is toxic and extremely racist towards me, and I really just don't want to deal with it anymore. The problem though is I've been feeling like this for over a year and I don't know why I haven't left yet. I think I'm afraid of just losing the friends I've had for the longest time. I really need help on how to get out of this. Thanks, Simi with a sweater. No worries, I got you. Yeah, you're right. You have to leave. You have to leave. You're afraid that, you know, if you leave them, you're going to be missing out on these friends you've had for the longest time. They're not your friends. They're toxic and they're racist towards you. They're not your friends. They're just people you hang out with, right? You don't have to hang out with them anymore. When you stop hanging out with them, you open yourself up to be able to hang out with people who actually like and appreciate you and who are not racist towards you and toxic. So, you've got to leave. Now you're saying you're struggling, you don't know why you haven't left yet, you're afraid of losing the friends you've had for the longest time. You got to remind yourself, they're not your friends. They're just people you hang out with. Friends would not be racist to you. They're not your friends. You need to like reinforce that in your mind. They're not your friends. They're not your friends. You can leave them. When you leave them, you give yourself the opportunity to actually make friends. That's that. No friends are better than bad friends. Agreed. Agreed. Let's see. People who are dickheads towards you aren't your man them. You gotta keep it 100 to yourself. 100%. I don't think they're gonna care if you leave. Right, yeah. I mean, if any part of you is feeling bad about leaving because they might feel, you know, like, yeah, they're already treating you poorly. How you leaving is gonna make them feel is none of your concern. So yeah, that's my thoughts on that. I just thought I could do that one quickly. There's the next one I just think is so interesting. We're gonna leave it on this one. This is the last dilemma of the day. I feel like I am not old enough for my age. I watch cartoons and play Nintendo games when everyone else in my class plays PlayStation and watches more age-appropriate shows. You do not have to act your age when it comes to the entertainment you enjoy, okay? There are certain things where maturity is required. Working in a professional environment. Looking after other people and yourself. When it comes to the media you enjoy consuming, you can do what you like. If you want to be watching Nick Jr. at the age of 35, you can do that, okay? You do you. Do you. You watch cartoons. People all ages watch cartoons. Yes, they're considered more childish, but some of these cartoons are fantastic. You know, SpongeBob SquarePants. And I'm going to go specifically for cartoons aimed at kids, right? So I'm not going to mention The Simpsons. I'm not going to mention Family Guy. Let's talk about the kids' cartoons, yeah? SpongeBob SquarePants. You can be 75 and enjoy that show. Fairly Odd Parents. Adventure Time. Regular Show. The Adventures of Gumball. Hold on, give me a second. Am I thinking of the right show? The Adventures of Gumball? The Amazing World of Gumball. Am I thinking of the right show? I might not be thinking of the right show. I am. The Amazing World of Gumball. These are shows aimed at a younger demographic, but what makes them good is that they're accessible regardless of your age, because they have themes that everyone can relate to. Watching cartoons is not wrong to do at any age. Nintendo. Okay, anyone who is like Nintendo is for kids, if you're playing Nintendo games, you're a freaking baby, clearly doesn't understand the history of gaming. There used to be two major game companies, Nintendo and Sega, okay? They were the top dogs, all right? PlayStation is not new. It's been around for, you know, a good portion of the time gaming has existed in general, at least video gaming, right? But to say that Nintendo is, oh, it's just a baby thing, not at all, okay? Listen, Nintendo has a lot more family-friendly games on their platforms, but a game being family-friendly doesn't mean it's not good. Super Mario Odyssey, fantastic game. Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, fantastic game. Does it matter that a 7-year-old can play it? No. Listen, freaking Call of Duty. All right, you have to be 15 to play this game. All right. It's a boring ass game. It's the same thing every year. Like, and I'm not saying Call of Duty is automatically bad. I've had a lot of fun playing Call of Duty, but I'm just saying to assume that because a game is marketed at a more mature audience, that you are childish if you go for a game that is E for everyone. Gaming is about having fun. Which game is more fun for you, okay? So if you're feeling like, you know, you don't act your age, this is specifically to the things you enjoy playing watching. You don't have to act your age when it comes to the media you enjoy. Straight up. Straight up. That's my thoughts on that. There are certain things where you have to act your age. How you treat people, how you behave in the real world. Yeah, sometimes you have to act your age. I'm not gonna lie. When it comes to what you like doing for fun, come on, bro. We need some useful souls to counteract all the old souls in this world. True. Whether I'm playing PC, play and learn, you play that to your heart's content, Grape Dino. To your heart's content. Nintendo games are fantastic. Demeaning them or saying they're only for kids is completely ridiculous. Agreed. I feel like just because something is family friendly, people automatically label it as for kids. That is true. That is something that happens a lot. And yeah, it's not the case at all. It's not the case at all. I love this show. I'm excited for next week. A Gamer 47. I'm very glad you enjoy it. Thank you very much. He says, never having played them, being a Switch scrub. I've played Super Mario Odyssey and Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. I've just never owned a Switch. I've played the games. I didn't finish them. I just played them for like a few hours at a time. Actually, I played Legend of Zelda for like 10 minutes. I played Super Mario Odyssey for like a good couple of hours. I mean, unless you watch Coco Melon, then I'd say that would be a bit weird. Hey, everybody here has freaking seen Baby Shark, okay? Don't act. I don't know if anyone has had the pleasure of watching Bluey with a toddler. It's like good. Bluey, is that? What's Bluey? Oh, I've seen this before. But I totally know what you mean. Like, freaking Peppa Pig. I used to watch that when I was younger, but sometimes you find yourself watching an episode of Peppa Pig. You're like, this show is kind of lit. I'm not gonna lie. Like, it's really not that bad. Like, this show is honestly kind of lit. Because yeah, my younger brother, he still likes watching, you know, kids shows, you know, like Wonder Pets, Peppa Pig, freaking Team Umizoomi. And it's like, sometimes you put these shows on, and it's like, I do think that this show is good. Yeah, that the square object should go in the square hole. You know what? Sometimes it's engaging. It's just engaging. So yeah. Bluey is actually sick. Like, I actually like this. Kadikarus is on his way to your house right now. Kadikarus, why? Have I said something that Kadikarus would dislike? Are you going to ask Santa for a Nintendo Switch this Christmas? We shall see. We shall see. I don't think the second you turn 18, you need to start liking Mad Men and War and Peace. This is true. This is true. Trey, my brother's all good, man. Thanks for asking. Yeah, he's chilling. He's chilling. He's all good. I did pass my GCSEs all over 5 for your info. Let's freaking go, Night Bro. Hell yeah. All kids cartoons are made by adults as well. Exactly. Adults are making these shows. Come on. Sometimes they gotta think about what they enjoy. I like Baby Shark. Great big show, and it was actually entertaining. Fair, fair. Do you have a stream schedule? A bit new to the streams. I'm live every weekday at 8 p.m. UK time. So I went live 2 hours and 12 minutes ago, and I'll be live every weekday at that time for about 2 hours. Between 2 and sometimes we go to 2.5. I try to keep it closer to 2. But yeah. Simi be thinking that grade 5 is pathetic. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Again, it's all about what you want, your personal goals, your personal ability, and I just think trying your best. As long as you tried your best. I would never put someone down for the grades they got, you know? Never. Lying to yourself? I'm not lying to myself. I do feel that way. I do feel that way. Simi's live every single day for 8 hours, bruh. Grade 9 of failure. Alright, people. Thank you for tuning in to the stream. I'm gonna give you that headset here, and then we will be raiding. Who should we raid today? Let's raid Joe from the Cyber Nerds. Jai can win. Alright, people, go check him out. Let me give you that headset here. Boom. With these new earpads, it definitely feels different to hold, because I usually grab it like this, and now there's just a bunch more there to grab onto. But yeah, let's see what we've got. A weaker one today. A weaker one. What's it looking like? Is that a 6? Is that a 6? Or is that a 5? I can't really tell. 50. That might be a 5, actually. 50 saying 10. Sachin saying 4. Grave Down with the 5. Black Wolf saying it looks blocky like a 6. Madeline saying 5. RJ with the 3. It's like Madeline's headset has so a 4, bruh. RJ saying 3. Madeline saying a 4. Honestly, I think it could be a 4 as well. My screen was so tiny that I couldn't really see it properly. 4 or 5 for that one. You look like a duck with the headset hair? How? Bruh. Sachin, thank you very much. Same for you as well, and for everybody in the chat. Alright, people. I have got to stop using my voice. I need to heal this freaking throat. I will see you tomorrow, okay? Thank you very much for the submissions to Not a Therapist. It's been a lot of fun. We'll be back with this next week. In the meantime, tomorrow, we're going to be continuing with Sonic Mania. We're going to see if I can actually get past that level, which I still have not gone past, which is unbelievable. Until then. Oh, there was a stretch? Okay. All right, let's do it. Yeah. Okay. Day 3 of these trials. Yeah. I mean, I think that's fine. That's fine, surely. Wash that. I do wash it, people, bruh. All right, people. Oh, we got a posture check as well, and a hydrate. Okay, you guys just trying to keep me around for longer. I see. Where he's wearing a jumper and then shorts. They're not shorts. They're jogging bottoms. Until tomorrow, people. You have a very nice afternoon, morning, evening, or night, whatever time of day it is for you. Stay tuned for the raid, and I'll catch you in the next stream. Peace out, everybody, and bye-bye.